Harambe YouTube, it is Unc Blurred here, and today I want to talk about a brand new #1 issue from Dark Horse Comics, and that is the Smart Division #1. I really enjoyed this book. It was a sleeper. It was a book that keeps you on your toes and makes you constantly ask, what's going on? Why is this happening? And yeah, it was a brilliant read. I want to start off with, something clever they did, and there will be mild spoilers in this review. I usually try to go with no spoilers, but there will be mild spoilers. And the first thing I noticed is that when I looked at the back cover seemed to be a blown up version of the title. And I asked myself, well, what is so important about the letters in this? And if you notice, all but two of the letters are in motion, are blurry. They have some kind of disorienting effect on them, all except for two. And that is the A in smart and the I in division. And so you know that it's going to be something about AI. And we start with a trope that I've seen before in comics. And I don't mind it so much. You start with, being thrown into what's going on, the state of the world, and then you meet one of our protagonists, this grizzled old FBI agent who is recollecting a memory of this case and this the Smart Division. So far, we don't know what that is, but we find out throughout the book that apparently, I'm assuming it's going to be a division of the FBI that is put in place to solve some type of cyber crime. And so we meet one character there in the future. He's, kind of been through it, being interviewed about his memories of his partner. And then you get to meet his partner back then, back when everything first jumped off. And her name is Stevie, and she is a young, brash, frankly irresponsible, gung-ho FBI agent who is very smart, very arrogant, and far too reckless. But she gets the job done, and she is paired with the protagonist we meet at the very beginning. He's supposed to be a babysitting assignment, and she's frustrated because she feels like she's being saddled with an old-timer who doesn't know what's going on, who's only going to slow her down. And so you have kind of this Lethal Weapon-esque mismatched partner dynamic, which is always fun. And we get to see them clash when they get this case, and she arrogantly blows them off, but then he points out all these subtle things about the staging of where the area is and how it was seemingly the perfect crime. And so we find out that he sees blind spots that she doesn't miss. And we find out that the victim of the murder was somebody who was working with an outside subcontracting company that was working with the FBI to develop AI crime fighting tech. But the twist is that they were at odds with her, because while she was brilliant and was doing great work, her job was to work up models of crimes to test this new tech on. And she developed this technology that used AI to commit these perfect crime scenarios. And she would not turn it over to this company. And we'll find out that technology is now in the wind. And then you look at her murder, and the old timer said, it looks like the perfect crime. And it's like, oh, wow. So they're going to be going after this AI that was let loose, that can commit the perfect crime. And you have a very interesting premise that is modern, that is novel. And one thing I really like about the art is that everything, the backgrounds, it's obscured intentionally. And, you have kind of this dull blurring effect. And what it does is it creates this sense of timelessness. This story could be taking place today, or it could be taking place 100 years from now. But everything, while it looks unfamiliar, it has a certain sense of familiarity, and it makes you ask the question: this dystopian-esque future, is it our timeline? Are we currently living in that? And so it was a very enjoyable book, a great number one issue. When I first got into it, the first few pages, I was like, you know what, I'm probably not going to move on past issue number one. But by the last page, the way that everything that I read and ingested paid off, this is going to be something that I'm going to definitely be on the watch out for. I suggest you do too. So anyway, that's my thoughts on the Smart Division from Dark Horse Comics. If you read it, let me know what you guys think. If you like it, anyway, if you guys would like to contribute to the growth of this channel, you can buy me a coffee using the QR code on the screen. But the most important thing you can do is watch, like, subscribe, and maybe even share. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, keep reading them books. I'm out.